So in the last video, we tested out the brand new Ace Paragon, the Goliath Doomship, which was unfortunately not as good as we expected. But what if it's actually secretly a paragon that's really great against bosses and we just didn't know yet? Well, today is the time we find out. Now for this boss event, we're just going to restrict ourselves to a degree 1 Ace Paragon. Why? Because we want to test out how strong it is. I mean, of course, a level 100 degree Paragon, of course, a degree 100 Paragon would defeat the boss in like, what, 1 second? But like, that's not what we're here to test out. What we're here to test out is how much more damage does the Ace Paragon do to boss Bloons. Because as we have seen in the previous video, despite, you know, so disappointing results, it actually does reasonably well against boss Bloons. So that's what I want to test out today. How well does this fella do against, well, any bosses? Now, knowing how expensive the Ace Paragon is, it's most likely that we can only afford it by tier 4s, which means you still need to come up with a defense for the first 3 tiers. So this is what I managed to get so far. It's just a simple 001 sub. I mean, it's been doing decently well. I mean, we're not going for lowest timing for this boss event, but so far I would say it's pretty okay, not too bad. So we're going to try and farm as much as possible first, or rather just pop down the 3 farms before we pop down the wizard to, you know, help us pop more Bloons. Okay, there we go, that's our wall of fire, and now we can set ourselves to strong because purples. And now we can resume farming like a normal person. Okay, now that we have, well, get 6200 farms, now we're going to go ahead and get the bottom path. Yeah, I'm probably also going to go for the middle path hitting that, since, you know, we're having some problems popping the lids on the left side of the screen. And in case you guys are wondering what's up with the dip in frame rate, it's because of the noise suppression that I have in my system, which, you know what, it's a sacrifice that's worth it, honestly. Well, now that we've gotten 6 marketplaces, we should probably do something to our defenses. I mean, we're going to deal with the boss soon anyway, so we might as well, right? So let's just use Benjamin's ability to help out first. And we're going to start with our usual tier 1 tech zone. I mean, well, is there any surprise as to what defense we're going to get for tier 1? Well, after retrying this for several times, because honestly I don't even know why do we try this, I've decided that this is the best way to go. Well, 1 tech zone right here, and we're going to set up for MOAB assassin right here so that we can deal with the pesky MOAB that's going to come out around 41. That's going to annoy us to death. And there we go, we have defeated tier 1. Not sure why it took longer than usual, but there we go, we did it. Tier 1 popped, and now for defenses, we're going to go ahead and get a Necromancer unpopped army. But we also have more class Bloons to deal with, so let's just get a simple fighter plane. Yeah, it's not worth, you know, spending so much money. And speaking of spending a lot of money, we're going to go ahead and get Central Market now. Because Monkey Knowledge has been disabled for this boss event, this means that actually top path Central Market is worth more than the middle path. So I'm sorry, but yeah, we're going to go for 204 Central Market rather than 024 Central Market like usual. And yes, I'm getting Central Market because I'm lazy, don't add me. Well, now that we got 2 Central Markets and the ones are going to harass us some more, let's just go ahead and get an ODS. And we're going to continue getting 204 farms. And now there is past 148, which means no more, well, random white class Bloons. We can now sell our Ace so that we can, well, spend a little bit more on farming. But yeah, this means we're going to have struggle a little bit with white class Bloons, but that's fine. Well, just to be safe, I'm going to rebuy a fighter plane. Just leave it at 300, it's fine. Well, it's 155, and so far we can fight 5 Central Market and 1 Marketplace, which is not too bad overall. So we're going to work with this, and we're going to get ready for our tier 2 defense, which is, of course, a mat, because honestly, what else were we expecting? Now it's going to be round 60, and we're going to go ahead and sell 2 Central Markets. So we're going to go ahead, get a mat, and we're going to village buff it just with a simple 200. And there we go. So now we just have to, well, just point the thing at the, just point the mat at the boss Bloon, and that's it. That's it for tier 2. It's pretty simple, right? See, simple. We can defeat it by round 62, and that's already pretty good. So we're not going to go ahead. We're not going to sell the mat just yet because we still need defend this round. But after that, we need to resume our farming and get ready for tier 3 defense. In case you're wondering what our tier 3 defense is, it's this. We're leaving the 2 wizards, we sold the sub, but in exchange we're selling the 3 over here, and we're getting an overdrive, embrittlement, and a village. We don't need a camel buff because we already have Shimmer over here. But if you're wondering whether this could defeat round 63, well, there's only one way to find out, but the answer is yes, it will. Oh yeah, I completely forgot to get 420 instead of a 410. Please don't get a 410, it won't be enough to stop the cervix. Don't be stupid like me. And yes, in terms of farming, we're still going to get more Central Markets because I am not in the mood to go for top path farming today. And in case you guys are wondering what's with the long timing, it's because of this. The BFBs take forever to reach my defenses. And if you guys are complaining that I'm getting such a high timing for rank boss events, that's not the point of this video. So I think now's the time for us to stop farming. And besides, we already accomplished more than 200k in terms of farming. Definitely more than 200k. So now what we're going to do is go ahead and first get ourselves a crossbow master. And also we're going to get Dragon's Breath because we don't have enough money for a crossbow master just yet. And we need to deal with round 75 and 76. So now it's round 80. So if we were to sell everything, we will only have $289,000, which I'm going to be honest is not a lot. We should probably sell Wizard so that we can move the druids up here so that it could target this area as well. And of course we are going to go ahead and get an Embrittlement, which I completely forgot about because Embrittlement does help deal +1 damage to all balloons, and well, Super Brittle does +3 damage, so might as well get Super Brittle, right? With that, we have defeated Lych Tier 3. So now we're going to go ahead and sell all our defenses except for the village. We're going to go ahead and get a Sky Shredder, and we're going to leave our village as a 320 village because that should be enough for the time being. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and continue farming some more. Specifically, we want to get as many 204 farms. And yes, we're still going with 204 farms because, like I said, still too lazy to farm for 420, even though, yeah, that will give me more money. But who cares, right? Laziness can accomplish a lot of things, guys. We're also going to go ahead and get a Spectre right about here. This is so that it can pop the ceramics. And also, we're going to get a Flying Fortress eventually. You know why we're getting it. Kind of think about it, I should have put the Sky Shredder right about here, but oh well, that's a bit too late, ain't it? Either way, we have maxed out on our farming, so the next logical step is to go ahead and get all 3 tier 5s so that we can finally get the Goliath Doomship and finally see how good it is on Lych. And just nice, we can afford the Flying Fortress by around 90, so let's go ahead and get the middle path ace and finally get ready for round 100. Wait, since when were you able to fit farms here? This is news to me. Now if we were to sell all our farms, that would net us about $500,000. The Goliath Doomship is worth $800,000, which means we need to get $300,000 by about 100. Okay, yeah, this might be a small problem. Well, we did it somehow. $300,000 by round 100. Okay, actually, that was a little bit more than $800,000, but nonetheless, we can finally get the Goliath Doomship, although this is a lowly Paragon degree 1 or 16. Oh yeah, of course it popped a little bit, but nonetheless, regardless of its Paragon degree, let's go ahead and see how well it does against Lych. And I'm not going to use this ability just to see how good. Oh. I was not expecting it to pop this fast, I'll be honest. Although yeah, the deities might be a bit scary, but then the Goliath Doomship actually does, you know, pop this really quickly, relatively speaking. So yeah, it is relatively powerful, I would say. Now of course we defeated tier 4 with ease, but the only way to find out how good it truly is to pop its tier 5 version without using any abilities. And now the moment of truth, can it defeat Lych tier 5 just by itself without any other paragons helping it? And yes, by the way, I did rebuy the farms in case something terribly goes wrong. And the answer is no. Lych has gotten pretty far actually, and we still haven't been able to defeat it. So now the question is, what if this time we use it, but this time with its ability? And in case you're wondering why this doesn't have Ring Monkey, no, there's no monkey knowledge this time, so we have to suffer without it. See how much damage the activated ability actually does to the boss. But not bad actually. But somehow we still leak to the, well, the Lych spawns, so let's try this again. This time we're going to permanently set our ability from this end to the other end because it just seems to make more sense, honestly. So here's the thing. We can beat Lych with the activated abilities, but just barely. As you can see, Lych has to almost reach the exit before we can defeat it. And keep in mind, this Lych only has 2.1 million health. So it's kind of disappointing to me that for this to work well against the boss, you have to use the activator ability, which I'm not a fan of because A, this activator ability doesn't cover the whole screen, it only covers like one straight line, which granted still does a lot of damage, but one line, that isn't enough. And B, and two, having to rely on activator abilities doesn't make it consistent per se, so yeah, honestly I'm kind of disappointed that this Paragon doesn't do as well as the other Paragons like the Ninja Paragon, which costs a lot less but still excels way better at bosses. I mean, even Lych. I mean, I could just get a degree 1 Ninja Paragon and try it out on this boss event, but I'm not going to restart. You can watch some of my older videos where I did use the Ninja Paragon for this, but yeah, it's kind of a disappointment, I'll be honest. I was expecting this to do better against bosses, especially since because of its high cost, but I guess not. I guess I got my hopes way too high. And I'm not sure what the community's reaction to this is. Maybe this could be a, I don't know, some kind of big brain strategy thing, but honestly, in my opinion, it's just not worth it. So yeah, since there's a 3 Paragon limit now to boss events, thank you so much Ninja Kiri, by the way. Yeah, I guess we're not going to go ahead and use Goliath Doomships for any future bosses one, unless Ninja Kiri decides to buff this fella, especially for its high cost. But yeah, disappointment aside, we have come to the end of the video, so thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like if you like this video, leave a comment if you have anything else to add, and I'll see you guys in the next video.